injustice, this system full of racism.
Yeah. And one thing I look at and I see between all of us, we are all united here right now about the fact that we the people are the people that put them in place.
Hold on. Let's get back at the table. Why not just go
Barry Axius, more truth than you can handle. Barry Axius. If you're gonna make a video about me, get my name right. I mean, Barry Axius. Okay. Now, there's a lot going on, man, and it's been about race, and white people still on the floor. they're still in shock because of the Super Bowl performance of Beyonce. A stellar performance by Beyonce. And the backlash that has come from the so-called conscious community, from the elite, the bourgeois, the supremacist, I mean all across the board, has just been interesting. Now, the white tears, it's to be expected. Now, some of you black folks, shame on y'all. Beyonce ain't did nothing wrong. We should be lifting this sister up. It doesn't matter about when, how, why. She did her thing. But I ain't going to even talk about those brothers and sisters because, black folk are going to complain about anything because, black folk just want to complain about anything. But what I'm going to talk about strictly, and let's try to elaborate a little bit more on the reason why white people are so upset. Well, there's a lot of good reasons. Beyonce did something unexpected, out the blue, and something that made them feel uncomfortable. Whenever you get a white person to feel uncomfortable, you see their reactions. That's why I've said it so many times. White people wouldn't have been able to handle being enslaved. Nah. They would have fell apart. They would not be around the way we around. Because they've thrown everything at us and we still here. Crack cocaine, still here. Jim Crow laws, still here. Mass incarceration, we still here. Still breathing, still kicking, still living. And now we ready to take back shit. So one of the biggest R&B superstars, probably one of the biggest artists, like, forget gender, biggest artists, Beyonce, Mrs. Carter. She performed in the Bay Area, and for those who don't know, even though it was in South Bay, in the Bay Area though, I mean a lot of the festivities of the Super Bowl happened in San Francisco. This is the birthplace of the Panthers. This is where revolution starts, here in the Bay, right? So what better place to show her people and her community that she stands with us. And see, what I don't understand when you talk about some of the black folks getting upset, why they upset? Because she paid homage. We should be excited. She saluted. You should be excited. Because what Beyonce did is she saw what the people have been doing. She saw the people have been standing. And she said, I need to make a stand with them. And what better place on a bigger stage, right? I'm talking about millions upon millions of people worldwide, all watching. And I guarantee you, they had no idea what was coming because they probably wouldn't have let her come out. They was looking at all the hot black women, all that melanin wear, them afro puffs, right? Stockings looking all good. They're like, oh, yay, Beyonce, you look great, guys. You look fabulous with those barrettes. Then when they got that formation, made that X, fish started being thrown, things were being said, then white folks got so uncomfortable. And the funny thing about it, I was watching the Super Bowl and I didn't even pay attention to watch the performance because I was like, I don't want to watch this halftime performance until, of course, I hit my Facebook. Of course, if you want to hit me on Facebook, it's Barry Axius. For those who I know can't say my name. Barry Axius, one more time. And when I saw Facebook go crazy, Instagram go crazy, Twitter going crazy, I said, oh snap, she did that. She really paid homage. Respectfully though. And those ignorant people were the ignorant ones that were saying that she did it for money. How's she doing it for money? She gonna lose money for doing that. The ignorant people want to sit there and say, well, where was she at when this happened? Beyonce's been doing things with Jay-Z on the low. And at the end of the day, we all wasn't awake. A lot of us was blind, sleeping under a doormat. The doormat of white supremacy. I'm not going to knock what she's done, but I am going to celebrate what she's done because this puts everything people like myself and other individuals, everything that they were saying or what we've been saying, it puts us all at the forefront to say that, you know what, first of all, we ain't crazy. First of all, we've been telling you motherfuckers about white supremacy. We've been telling you about this racism in America. And it lets you know clearly that white folk have a problem with black being black. Bottom line. What you so upset for? America, do you get to see again your ugly history, your ugly past? What was so bad about the Black Panthers? What was so bad about Malcolm X? Because in your history books, they will let you believe that the Black Panthers were the same hate group that the KKK was. And truly, it was not. How are they the same hate group when they're saying power for the people? Power to the people, the oppressed people. That means if you're black or white, Asian, it doesn't matter. If you oppress, power to you. We are celebrating and we are fighting for you. What is a hate group when you have to assemble in your community because of police brutality? You have to protect your community because these crooked racist police that they're doing right now are in your community, beating, killing your people. Name me one white cop, one white person that the Black Panthers killed. And before you try to answer and say, well, this person, that person, because I beg to argue that you'll find anyone. If it was anybody that got killed, it was due to the fact that the Black Panthers were defending themselves. So there was nothing hateful about it. How was a group hateful when they created breakfast programs? They created a free ambulance service. They a youth institute. They had a program for the seniors. They had their own newspaper. They created the Black Alliance. How are they this hate group when they're expressing love for their people? Where's the hate at? But yet and still, white folks will always sit there and talk about the KKK and the Black Panthers like they're one and the same, and they're not. The KKK, who are currently still in our America, the hoods and those with the suits that run the government, lynched, murdered, killed black folks all across the board. And now you gonna try to tell me that there's a similarity to the KKK and the Black Panthers? The Black Panthers no longer exist. The KKK exists. The FBI wiped out the Black Panthers. Why? Because they were black, they were strong. And every time a black person shows power, see, I say black power matters for a reason. I put my fist up for a reason. They fear. They get scared. They get uncomfortable. They start having these black, white tears. Oh my God, why did Beyonce do this? And the people, especially that white blonde chick, you got to be one of the most ignorant people on TV. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, first of all, you making arguments, and shouts out to Charlamagne the God for checking her. Like, you know, shouts out to the God, Charlamagne, yo. I loved it. Put her in her place, man. But let me ask this blondie what the deal is with her. Like, first of all, why the hell are you even talking about her drug dealing husband? What? Drug dealing? What does that have to do with anything? What? Because before, there was nothing wrong with Jay-Z and Beyonce. So now there is. And now we're going to bring up their past. Well, we could name a whole bunch of things that some of your great American leaders have done, right? Shame on you for being that ignorant. And then do your history a little bit. Understand what the Black Panthers were and understand what the KKK were. The KKK was a hate group. The Black Panthers were for the people, the oppressed people. They stood up for the people that were getting brutalized. Currently, we need something like the Black Panthers in the black community right now. Just find racism in the Black Panthers. Like, I dare you. Please. When they were hanging out with Jane Fonda, what's going on? Like, white tears are hella funny, man. It's white people are so hilarious to me. It cracks me up. And you black folks are seeing this, right? Because I was cracking up when I saw Saturday Night Live. That was hilarious. You know, some people thought it was edgy. Some people thought it was a little bit, classless. But I thought it was just epic for the simple fact that that's just how white folks be thinking. That's how they be acting. They think once you cross over, they get some of your money. See, that's the thing about white folks. White folks will take the Negro, as long as the Negro will sing, dance, shoot a ball, run a touchdown, or some other type of thing that will build their corrupt corporations into more money. They will get you rich and they will make you famous. But as soon as you try to get back into being politically strong, speaking truth to power and injustice against your people, that's when they have a problem with you. But the thing about it, what Beyonce did, though it was great, it's not the first time black people stood up and spoke in music. It's the simple fact that we've been so polluted by this greed and this money and this fame that have made us whores to this dollar that we've moved away from that. So it's a great sight to see that a person like a Beyonce, because she is a major figure in this entertainment game, she stood up like that. Because don't get me wrong, we have had artists that have stood tall through it all and spoke up. But in this current, especially with artists like this, for that to happen, it blew back the white people's minds. But my whole thing about it is like this. They constantly tell us to stop crying and slavery and all this stuff was in the past. So why are you crying about Beyonce? What are we still crying about? You get over it like we're supposed to get over it, right? And then Kendrick Lamar hits him in the face. Booyah. And here's the thing. Kendrick Lamar's performance, though it was awesome, it was stellar, it will never match what Beyonce did. Because one, you kind of expect something like that from Kendrick. Kendrick Lamar, people constantly talk about him. He's a conscious rapper. And you kind of expect something like this to happen, how Kendrick Lamar did it. So the shock value, even though white folks were stuck, isn't there compared to what Beyonce did. And really, to be honest with you, you knew something was going to happen from Kendrick because Beyonce just did this. But that's the difference between Kendrick and Lamar and Beyonce. Beyonce came out of left field that nobody had a clue. And the funny thing about it, there was this anti-Beyonce rally that these idiots was going to sit there and do, and nobody showed up because nobody cares. Right? Nobody cares. Because it's corny and people know, and people are saying, yo, you know what, we kind of look stupid that we're complaining about this. Because who did Malcolm X kill? Of course, Malcolm called a few white people crackers, a few devils here and there, a few pigs here and there. But who did Malcolm X kill? What did he say? Everything Malcolm said, everything the Panthers said, they said something in truth. And the reason why they said it is because the attacks happened to us first. I've always said it. People like to pay attention to the reaction, not the action. If all these things didn't happen to Black America in the last 2.5 years, Beyonce would have never got out of her shell like that. But the people, Beyonce's people, have been on the street, have been pushing so hard, so tough. she had to pay homage not only to the ancestors, but to the people in the struggle. And I salute that. The police ain't happy with her video. But you know what? We ain't happy about what happened to Katrina. You know what? We ain't happy what's going on in Flint, Michigan. We ain't happy about a lot of shit. Why is it that Donald Trump can be boastful, talk shit, say whatever the hell he want to say, but little old Beyonce with her cute self go on stage at the Super Bowl and everybody mad? And then the little blonde white girl talking about, this is supposed to be about unity. What unity looks like is when those racist police that killed all these unarmed black people not get indicted, but they go to prison. Right? That shows unity. When these little girls in Arizona don't run around here with N shirts. When little boys in Oklahoma on a frat bus don't sing about the N's won't ever get to their fraternity, right? That's unity. When you white folks start cleaning up your mess and stop trying to pretend like what we doing is so wrong. We do what we do because it's frustrating to be in America and understand in 2016 we still have to deal with the same shit our ancestors did. We still get lied to. They still try to play us as if we're idiots. And then every single time we try to check their temperature, to check their card, to see if they change, they the same goddamn people. These people that you tell us to forget about who have died, they have had kids, and it is you. That's why America's so upset. America's upset because the black man, the black woman has woken up. We see what the truth is. As soon as a black person does anything that makes a white person uncomfortable, you will see their true colors. I see your true colors shining through. Right? Straight up. But I'm happy. I'm excited. And you Negroes stop with all your conscious and where is it? I mean, people talking about she was performing with a gay flag. Who cares? What? And white folk, if you really want to be serious about what you're talking about, why the hell was there a Confederate flag at the Super Bowl? You know what I'm talking about? What was the Confederate flag? If we want to talk about moving forward, what was the Confederate flag out there for? Right? We supposed to forget that too? Stop with the comparisons. Do your history. The Black Panthers was one of the most powerful, most organized organizations that the black folks have ever had. Something that we need to do again. We have to have a replica of what that was. Because there was more unity in the community with that. We were more protected. And now we have the henchmen just doing whatever they feel. We have some of these racist cowards doing whatever they feel. And I stand up and I salute any single person that stands up against this oppressive system. And what Beyonce did, what Kendrick Lamar did, that was powerful. It was needed. It was necessary. And white folks are so angry because you could do whatever you want to do with Beyonce. She's paid. And you paid her. She got your money. So she really don't need you. So Beyonce, you can come home. You ain't never left. But it's so funny when the black people shaking. What that Saturday Night Live little skit showed you, the truth of how white folks act. When they have to look at their ugly past and they have to be challenged and they have to be made uncomfortable when somebody makes a stand. Shouldn't be uncomfortable with that. You guys constantly play Donald Trump to us every night, every day. You constantly play bad images of black people every day. Now when we say power to the people, black power matters, now you running scared. Save your white tears. Salute to all the soldiers. And for the suckers, remember, silly Negroes, remember, bury Axios. More truth than you can handle.